The idea of the Pittsburgh Steelers trading T.J. Watt for Terry McLaurin sounds almost laughable. If you're a fan of the black and gold, that's not a knock on McLaurin. He's a fantastic wide receiver, a true number one target in this league. But trading away arguably the most impactful defensive player in football over the past several years, that's the kind of move that could set a franchise back for a long time. The rumor came from an article floating around that suggests Washington could benefit from a trade that sends McLaurin to Pittsburgh and brings Watt to the Commanders. From Washington's perspective, sure, it makes sense. They get a pass-rushing monster, a guy who instantly transforms their defense and gives Dan Quinn a cornerstone to build around. T.J. Watt is everything you want in a defensive leader, explosive off the line, elite at creating pressure, and an absolute game changer. But from the Steelers' point of view, letting go of a guy like Watt would be nothing short of reckless. Since entering the league back in 2017, Watt has dominated in just about every statistical category you can think of. He leads the NFL in sacks with 108, edging out names like Myles Garrett. He's number one in tackles for loss, number one in forced fumbles, and number one in defensive turnovers created. Every time he steps on the field, he alters the course of a game. It's not just about raw stats either. The Steelers' win-loss record is night and day with and without Watt in the lineup. When he plays, Pittsburgh wins around 2/3 of their games. When he's out, they barely scratch out 10%. And it's not just the defense that suffers when Watt is off the field. The team gives up more points and scores less on offense. That's how valuable he is. He impacts every aspect of the game. And let's not forget what happened after his injury in the 2024 season. As soon as Watt went down, the Steelers, who had been one of the hottest teams in the league, completely fell apart. They didn't win a single game without him. His absence flipped the team's production upside down. Fewer sacks, fewer turnovers, more points allowed, and more points surrendered. That alone should be enough to shut down any trade talk involving Watt. Yes, Terry McLaurin is a stud. No one's denying that. You put him alongside DK Metcalf, and you're talking about one of the best wide receiver duos in the league. But even that kind of offensive firepower doesn't make up for the loss of T.J. Watt on defense. Pittsburgh's identity has always been built around a dominant, hard-nosed defense. Watt is the heartbeat of that unit. You don't give up your heart for an extra set of hands, no matter how talented those hands are. Now, if the Steelers are really looking to boost their receiving corps, there's another option that makes a lot more sense. Go out and sign someone like Amari Cooper. Cooper might not be quite as flashy as McLaurin, but he brings polish, consistency, and experience. Plus, you get to keep Watt in the building where he belongs. Cooper alongside Metcalf gives Aaron Rodgers the weapons he needs without gutting the defense in the process. And that's exactly what some insiders believe Pittsburgh is considering. One well-connected voice close to the team went on record recently, saying that if it's not going to be Amari Cooper, then the Steelers might just roll into the season with the wide receiver room they already have. No big trades, no blockbuster signings, just sticking with their guys and hoping one of them makes the leap. That's a huge vote of confidence in someone like Roman Wilson. And let's be real, if Pittsburgh doesn't add another receiver, it's because they believe Wilson is ready to step up in a major way. This is a player who barely saw the field as a rookie. He played just 5 snaps last season. But the team must be seeing something in his development, because it sounds like they're preparing to give him a much bigger role heading into this year. The key to Wilson's value isn't just in what he can do with the ball in his hands. It's about what he does without it. Pittsburgh's new offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, puts a ton of value on wide receivers who can block, especially the guy lining up as the number 2 behind the top target. That was one of the biggest reasons Calvin Austin III got overshadowed last season. As electric as Austin is, as fast and skilled as he might be with the ball, his run blocking just isn't up to par. That's why Van Jefferson, a guy who didn't bring much juice in the passing game, ended up playing way more snaps than Austin. And that's why Roman Wilson is getting this shot now. At Michigan, he was known not just for being a slick route runner out of the slot, but for his toughness and willingness to block. Coaches rave about his physicality, his effort, and his grit. That's exactly the kind of receiver Smith needs in his system. So the Steelers might be gearing up to roll into the season with DK Metcalf as the number 1, Calvin Austin as the speed threat on the outside, and Roman Wilson as their versatile weapon in the slot. Robert Woods adds some veteran insurance if Wilson isn't quite ready. And Ben Skowronek provides special teams value and more physicality in the run game. It's not flashy, but it's a solid group, especially if Wilson can grow into that number to roll. Now, let's shift gears to the quarterback situation, because it's no small thing that Aaron Rodgers recently announced this will probably be his final season in the NFL. He said it plainly in an interview. This is likely it for him. And predictably, the media jumped all over it. Critics immediately started saying Rodgers was making it all about himself, accusing him of trying to steal the spotlight from the team before the season even begins. But here's the thing, Rodgers didn't go out and throw himself a retirement party. He didn't call a press conference to announce anything dramatic. He was asked a question on a show he appears on regularly, and he answered it honestly. That's not being selfish, that's being transparent. And let's be honest, this isn't the first time the media has taken aim at Rodgers. Ever since the vaccine controversy, it feels like he can't do or say anything without drawing backlash. And yet, when guys like Derek Jeter or Mariano Rivera announced their final seasons, everyone cheered. They got farewell tours, standing ovations, gift baskets from rival teams. But Rodgers gives a straight answer to a question, and suddenly he's painted as a diva. The double standard is wild. It's clear that some people in the media just don't like the guy, and they'll twist anything he says to fit a negative narrative. But for the Steelers, Rodgers' announcement actually brings a level of clarity that's been missing for a long time. At the end of Ben Roethlisberger's career, the team was constantly in limbo, not sure if he had one more season left or if it was time to move on. Then came the Russell Wilson experiment, which was always going to be a short-term fix, with Rodgers being upfront about his intentions. Pittsburgh can plan ahead. They know this is a one-year window, and they can structure everything: cap space, draft strategy, player development with that in mind. And even though Rodgers says this is probably his final year, let's not completely close the door on 2026. If Pittsburgh puts together a strong season, let's say they win 12 or 13 games, maybe take the division, maybe win a playoff game, who's to say Rodgers doesn't get the itch to come back and finish what he started? Especially if the defense is still elite and the offense is humming. And if anyone can talk Rodgers into giving it one more go, it's Mike Tomlin. Rodgers has made it clear he has nothing but respect for Tomlin. Their relationship could absolutely play a role if the Steelers find themselves on the cusp of something special. Maybe Rodgers decides he's got one more year left in the tank. Maybe he wants to mentor the next guy they draft. The door isn't completely shut, no matter what the media wants to believe. But right now, the Steelers are focused on making the most of this one season. They've built a tough, physical team. They've got one of the best defensive players in football in TJ Watt. They've added weapons around Rodgers. And while there are still questions at wide receiver, there's also potential guys like Roman Wilson could be the X factor that helps push this team over the top. That potential hinges heavily on development. The Steelers aren't strangers to betting on their own guys, and this year, Roman Wilson is the one they're betting on the most. After barely seeing the field in his rookie year, he's now being penciled in as the number to wide out, an enormous jump in responsibility and expectation. But if you ask around the organization, there's a belief that Wilson is built for it. He's not the flashiest name on the roster, but his game brings the kind of toughness and reliability that Pittsburgh values deeply. In college, he wasn't just a key contributor on a national championship team, he was their number one target and a tone setter. That kind of pedigree carries weight in a franchise that prides itself on grit. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A persistent buzz around the NFL has reached a fever pitch, with widespread whispers suggesting that tight end Jonnu Smith has inked a 4-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. While official confirmation remains elusive, the sheer volume and detail of these rumors indicate that something significant is indeed brewing in the Steel City. Sources close to the situation, speaking on condition of anonymity, hint at a lucrative long-term commitment that would see Smith, fresh off a Pro Bowl season with the Miami Dolphins, significantly bolster the Steelers' offensive arsenal. This speculative move wouldn't come as a complete shock, given the strong connection between Smith and Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. The two previously worked together in Tennessee and Atlanta, enjoying a productive rapport that could be rekindled in Pittsburgh. The possibility of Smith joining the Steelers has been a recurring storyline this offseason, with on-again, off-again trade discussions reportedly taking place between Pittsburgh and Miami. Smith, who reportedly sought a revised contract from the Dolphins, has been noticeably absent from mandatory minicamp, fueling speculation that his future lies elsewhere. While his agent has publicly stated Smith's preference to remain in Miami, the prospect of a substantial new contract and a reunion with a familiar coaching presence in Pittsburgh appears to have shifted the tide. If this rumored signing comes to fruition, it would undeniably shake up the Steelers' tight end room, which already features Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. Such a move would signal Pittsburgh's aggressive intent to upgrade their passing game and provide more weapons for their revamped quarterback situation, particularly after the recent acquisition of DK Metcalf and the departure of George Pickens. The potential addition of Smith, known for his athleticism and run-after-catch ability, could create a formidable tight end tandem, offering a versatile threat in Arthur Smith's offense. For now, the NFL world holds its breath, awaiting an official announcement that could confirm one of the most intriguing free agency rumors of the offseason. The thought of Jonnu Smith in black and gold certainly has Steelers fans envisioning a more explosive and dynamic offense in the season to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.